Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's the States FC, and as you can see today, we're going to be discussing how we should line up against Mexico. Now, even though we had a poor performance against Honduras yesterday, we still have a final to play for, and this is very, very big for us. So I'm going to be discussing how we should line up. So anyway, let's get into it. So first up, you have to scout Mexico. So they played yesterday. They beat Costa Rica in penalties. Now, Mexico probably was the more dominant team, to be honest. They probably should have put away one or two chances in the first half. But their lineup is still pretty strong. Ochoa, Araujo, Ortega, Moreno, Alvarez. Alvarez is almost playing as a center back. They kind of went back and forth between a 3-back and a 4-back. It was really weird. Guardado, Herrera, and Lainez in the midfield. You have Antuna, Lozano, and Martin up top. So this is a very strong Mexico team. They got some very dangerous players, especially Alvarez, Guardado, Herrera, Lainez, Lozano, and Tecatito. Now, Tecatito may be injured or not. We don't know. But this is a very, very dangerous team. And the way we've been playing, this team is going to punish us, especially on the counter. So we have to adapt and play well against this really strong Mexico team. So anyway, let's get into what we should line up. So defenders, Anthony Robinson at left back. There's no need to put Serginho Dest on left back because it just simply won't work with him pushing up and isolating John Brooks against quick Mexican attackers. That's just not going to work. You don't want Lozano or Antuna going up against John Brooks isolated. It's not going to work at all. So Robinson at left back played fine yesterday. Should continue to get the start. John Brooks, not droppable, an absolute wall. Is a really good ball distributor. It's between Mark McKenzie and Matt Miazga. I would personally choose McKenzie. I know he's played a lot, the past couple of games, but if he can just trek through, get that one more game, that recovery pace against Lozano, and with Miazga, since he's really air prone, Mexico, especially in the attacking third, they play really quick, lots of dummies, lots of quick passes. Matt Miazga is really air prone and stuff like that, so I would just personally start Mark McKenzie because he's just better blocking out stuff like that. So I just think it would be a much better fit in order for us to win. So that would be my back four. And Zach Steffen in goal played really well yesterday, and his distribution got so much better, so that's who I would start at my back four. Alright, so in midfield, this comes down to whether a question of who's healthy. If Tyler Adams made the bench yesterday, so even if it's kind of a risk, I feel like it's worth it because Adams is just so important to this team. Even if he can only go 50, 60 minutes, that's still better than nothing. That's still freaking fantastic. And it comes down to basically Yul and Acosta, and Yul's been playing poorly, and I hate to say this, but if Adams isn't fit, I would start killing Acosta. He can just cover more ground, might not be more ball secure. He's probably better defensively, so it's a tough decision, but I'd go with Acosta if Adams is not healthy. But that's not a decision you want to be making. We really need someone to develop for that backup six. But fingers crossed Adams is healthy for Sunday. And then in those duelates, I cannot express to you how important McKinney and Musa have to start. Weston McKinney may be on short rest, but he's Weston McKinney, an absolute stud. If you tell him he's playing in a final, promise you he's going to be electric, have a fantastic game. And it's between Lletget and Musa, and Lletget just has been very average the past two games. Musa brings that electricity, that ball security, and the ball advancement in that midfield. That's just something that Berhalter has to take advantage of. Considering Mexico, their midfield is good, they're technical, they can play quick, but let's be honest, guys, their midfield is not that quick. Guardado, Lainez, and Herrera, especially with Guardado, Herrera, at that 6, in front of that back line, if you have Yunus Musa with the pace he has driving at them, I guarantee you that's not something Mexico wants, and I hope Gregg Berhalter can take advantage of that, because if Musa starts this game, he's going to have an absolute monster game. Same with McKinney. These are two guys that have to start alongside each other. And if we play well as a team, these two are going to be the reason why we play well. So Berhalter must start these two in those duelates. It has to be. So moving forward to attackers, this is obvious. I know Pulisic had some injury problems this season, but you're playing in a final. You want your best player going up against an El Tri side when playing for that trophy. Pulisic, yesterday you saw Honduras. He'd get the ball, they'd back off, but then they'd rush 3 people around him. And if you bring especially if you bring a Mexico team trying to man-mark Pulisic, put 2-3 guys around him at all times, it's just going to be opening up so much more space for other guys like Reyna, Musa, McKinney. So Pulisic obviously has to start as our best player. Every time he's played Mexico, he's played really well, so I expect him to play well again. Now, striker is probably the most controversial thing here. A lot of people are calling for Sabachu to start because he scored the late winner, and that's totally reasonable. That's a very valid reason. Sabachu's good. But he's more of a hold-up player, kind of can stretch that back line, but he's not as quick as Josh Sargent. He'll put away those chances, but Sabachu really isn't going to be creating a lot of chances. So I would personally start Josh Sargent because he hasn't played the full 90 for the past 2 games. he offers you that work rate, pressing really well. He can offer you that drop into the midfield and kind of that hold up play to link everything together. And Sargent is an absolute workhorse. I guarantee you, Sargent's going to have a good game against Mexico if he starts. I think he's just more essential to that team. For me, it doesn't matter who scores. If Josh Sargent doesn't score a lot of goals for the national team, but he plays his heart out and he contributes well, does a lot of things in that final third, I'm totally okay with that. At wide, you have Gio Reyna, fantastic performance against Honduras, has to start. You can't really bring Tim Way in for Gio Reyna. Just Reyna's really special. I think he's gonna have a really good game against Mexico. So that'd be my front three. It's a very strong front three. So my keys to this game, so like I said, my keys to the game. Obviously you have to be defensively conservative against Honduras. Really weren't conservative at all, even though we're struggling with Switzerland. So that has to be improved with a strong Mexican national team. They're gonna have a lot of chances, and we can't just be throwing 9 guys in front of the ball. It's just not gonna work. They're gonna hit us on the counter, and they're going to punish us. So we have to be conservative defensively. Making sure that midfield is balanced and urgent. We lacked that yesterday. Just a really sloppy midfield. Poor passes, just kind of all over the place, and they just really didn't play with a lot of energy like they usually have been. The final third, it has to be quicker. Yesterday, when we got there, it just kind of slowed down. So we just had to be decisive in that final third, putting pressure on Nestor Rajo and Edson Alvarez, making sure that they're, playing out of the back well. And if we do want to high press, I think that might work well because, if we high press, we have to get it right because Mexico's the team that can punish you if we don't high press correctly. Last thing I want to see, play with energy. We are playing in a Nations League final, a trophy on the line. Our guys, you have to get that to the head. They're playing in a final, so playing with energy, playing like they really, really want to win. That's another key I think we have to do if we want to win this game. But anyway, guys, that's it for this video. That is my lineup the U.S. should use against Mexico. This is going to be a very, very good game. I'm not going to say my prediction just because I don't really know how it's going to fare because both teams not in great form at the moment, but I can tell you it's going to be a very, very good game with both teams with really good players. But anyway, that's it for this video. Remember to please like and subscribe. And as always, thank you guys so much for watching.